Hey folks, it's another day, another unboxing, and this one is really special. I'll give you a hint. ROG Aerodynamic System. Hopefully by the time I'm done rotating this box, you will know what's in it. Boom! It's the ROG Phone! Check it out. It's got a bunch of text at the bottom here. And all the insignias. And then it says ROG Phone again on the other side. It's a three-sided box. It does have Republic of Gamers on this side. It does have a whole bunch of serial numbers and IMEIs here. As you can see, this is a black 8GB, 512 gigabytes, 6-inch display version. Of course, there's only one display option. And there you go. So, this is super exciting. You ready for an unboxing? Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Well, this just opens up to here. Now we've got a little tab to remove here, so let's do that. There we are. And are you ready? Look at this. Craziness. So, let's go through each of these bits. So there's 3 parts to the box. 1, 2, 3. There is the little fan. Optional fan for the phone. As you know, this is a gaming phone. Now, I'll get into this in a second. I'm not sure if there's anything else in this box. Doesn't feel like it can be opened further. The middle is where the phone lives. And there it is. So I will look at this with you in a second. And then the final part is what's in here. And so let's have a look at that. First, there is some sort of box that I'm going to try to pull out. There we are. So let's move this out of the way and show you the rest of it. So this contains the charger, apparently. There we go. USB Type A on one end. That's a pretty big, beefy charger. I bet you it's like something like a 25 or 30 watt charger. Super fast, high speed. Oh no, that's not Type A. That's Type C. Look at that. Type C charger, so it's probably power delivery. Be interesting to see the wattage. I can't read it. It's too small. Then there's some sort of rubber things. I don't know what these would be for, but there they are. Little rubbery pieces. Then there is a cable, which I assume is the C2C cable. Ooh, it's a fabricated, it's a braided cable. And just so you know, there's nothing else in this box. So now, USB-C to USB-C, as you can see here, C to C. So that's it for the accessories. We have another little divider here with some documentation, I presume. Like that. So let's get rid of this and have a look. We've got probably a SIM removal tool. Yep, there we go. And a ROG Phone and some IMEI stickers. IMEI stickers. And we've got a registration card, again with the IMEI on it. Now this is in Chinese, so this might be a Taiwanese model because they use the same power converter as the US. So here are the instructions on all the ports. Let's see if we can find English anywhere. There we go. That's not it. Oh, it's all, I think, Chinese. So we're not going to find out too much about this. But there you go. Let's have a look at the phone, shall we? There it is. So I'm going to pull it out of its sleeve here. And we're going to power it up. Ta-da! It's a really nice phone. I played with this phone at Computex in June. I posted a hands-on video. I'll link to it at the end of the video here. You can have a look. So, as you can see, it's a very unusual design. It's definitely looking more kind of masculine game phone-ish, but it doesn't look like something too hardcore like a Razer phone would do, for example. So I kind of like that. Also doesn't feel too big in hand. I like that Asus found a pretty good balance. This is a big phone, about the same size as a Pixel 3 XL or OnePlus 6T, but it's not huge. But it's very unique. It has a kind of couple of vents here, like a weird shaped fingerprint reader and camera pod here on the back. So it's pretty interesting. I'm not quite sure, what all the detailed specs are. I'm gonna try to remember them. I know that the battery is 4,000 milliamp hour. That's pretty big. And I do know that the display is a 6-inch AMOLED display with an 18:9 aspect ratio. It doesn't have notch. It's just a wide-angle display. So the main camera here in the back is a 12 megapixel f/1.8 camera, and it's got a OIS, and it's got an assist camera. It's an 8 megapixel camera for portraits and stuff. And then the selfie camera here on the front is an 8 megapixel f/2.0 camera. So that's the specs on the camera system. Snapdragon 845. These are hand-picked Snapdragon 845s. They're the top tier in terms of performance, so that's kind of interesting. 8 gigabytes of RAM on this model, 512 gigs of storage on this model. I'm not sure if there's micro SD support, but I would presume it would have that. I'll have to check. So let's look around the phone real quick. On the right-hand side here, you have the volume rocker and the power lock key. And you might see there's a couple of little etched things here. I don't know if you can see the markings. These are ultrasonic trigger buttons. So when you're playing a game, you can kind of like use these as trigger buttons. And you can assign them to some area of the screen. It's very interesting. On the left-hand side here is the SIM tray. And there is a little connector that's hidden here behind a little, let's see if I can get this little rubber piece out. There we go. So there's a little rubber piece that hides. I think that's what the spare of these two rubber pieces are in the box. So this little rubber piece hides a connector, which is a USB Type-C connector with a kind of extra. So USB-C with an extra custom connector. And this is for accessories like game pads and other things that the phone slides into. There's also a clamshell thing that adds a second screen to the phone. Check my hands-on video for more. So that's on the left-hand side. On the bottom, you have a headphone jack, which is really welcome, and a USB Type-C connector, another one. So you can charge it from this side if you want to play a game and charge it. You can have the connector down here, or you can use it like this and have the connector down here. Very, very clever. Of course, there's a primary microphone right here. Pretty much everything you'd expect. As I said, volume rocker and power button with these two shoulder buttons. Looks like there's some sort of microphone here up as well on the left edge. And then on top, doesn't look like there's anything but a secondary mic right here. I don't know if you can see it. So that's it. Stereo speakers, of course, top and bottom, right? You'd expect that. Let me see if I can remove. I don't know, is there a protective thing, or is this just the only sticker on here? Ooh, that was a very nice sounding sticker. So there's definitely the sticker here, but I think this doesn't have any protection on it. It's just really shiny. This is glass and metal. So this looks like it could be aluminum. And so when you put the fan on it, I'll show you in a second, it plugs into this bottom connector. It cools the device through these holes. So this is not water resistant because it does have some sort of evaporative cooling system that goes to this area here where there's actually heat sinks, and the fan kind of helps airflow through there. So basically, you don't want to get this phone wet. Didn't point out the LED flash here, but check out that crazy fingerprint reader. This logo on the back is backlit, and you can customize it like all the ROG devices to display a color and cycle through colors. It uses up a bit of battery life, but whatever. Razer does this as well on their gaming phone. Man, this thing feels, I forgot how beefy this thing feels. It's not too thick, but it feels really solid. Like the fit and finish and build quality are kind of incredible. And you expect this. This is not a cheap phone. I think it's in the $1,000 range, so... let's turn it on and see what this display looks like. It's an AMOLED panel, 1080p, 6 inches, 18:9. I mentioned that before, but I didn't mention the resolution. Republic of Gamers. The coolest thing about this display is, as you know, the Razer phone is 100. Whoa! Did you hear the sound quality of these speakers? They sound great. The biggest thing that you kind of forget about this phone is that this phone has a 90 hertz refresh rate. The Razer phone has a 120 hertz refresh rate by using an IPS panel. This is an AMOLED panel with a 90 hertz refresh rate. So that's the big deal, and that's why this thing kind of has a little bit of a interesting price tag on it, I think. Custom display, slightly rounded corners, really nice. I'm honestly not sure what to do here. I guess I have to pick the language. English Australia, English New Zealand, English United States. Whew. Okay, it says welcome. I am happy to be able to read that. So, this is going to be a beast of a phone. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not, I worked in video games for a long time as a developer, but I'm not a hardcore gamer in any way. I just appreciate good gaming gear because obviously as somebody who worked on developing console games and PC games for a while, and some mobile games, I really do like this is a really good looking phone, I think, for a gaming phone. It feels amazing in hand. The display looks gorgeous. This is going to be cool phone to play with. Oh, another thing. This here is the fan. Let's take it out of its packaging and show it to you. So it adds a headphone jack to the bottom, USB-C to the bottom. It plugs into this custom connector on the left edge of the phone. And it has a full-on fan in it that you can program to be quiet, loud. You can see the vents here. And so let me show you how it sticks on the phone. You kind of go like this, and you slide it in from the bottom like that into the port. And once it's in, you go like that, and then it's on. You see? There you go. So the fan is attached. This is what the phone looks like with the fan attached. It's a plastic piece, and the two connectors that you lost by having, well, actually, you lost the USB-C on there. So there it is back, and then you get an extra headphone jack in addition to the built-in headphone jack. And it shows you, do not insert Type-C cable in the colored port of the side mount port. So you saw that there's a yellow part and a black part to that connector, and really what we want is to connect to the black side. Let me remove the accessory so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. See? Colored side is not a USB-C, it's a special port. This is a USB-C compatible port right here. There you go, folks. Stay tuned for more videos. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't forget to listen to the podcast. Most of my content is on the podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. I'm also on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Casts, TuneIn Radio, Slacker, Stitcher, everywhere. So look for Mobile Tech Podcasts and subscribe. All right, stay tuned for more videos, everybody. Cheers.